What the? Why? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Major
What?
bag alert. Major
Because
bag alert.
because if you look at Marvel Phase 4, the first thing that comes up
Oh
is
my god.
poster.
Oh my god. Bro, get over it. Next
Yeah,
time, bro. Next time you make the posters, man.
You got all of these from Twitter?
No.
These are the
he
exact
got
ones from Twitter.
bro, he literally went and searched it up, and the
These are the first things I
picture-
got off Google, man. All right, damn, bro. All right, hey guys, we're doing it. We're doing a tier list for Phase 4. My fucking god.
No, we're doing a fucking poster list at this point. Put on
Well-
all the posters. We're gonna rate them all.
No. All right, so the plan is simple. We're just gonna rate these from S to A to B to C, and then Eternals. We're gonna rate these movies, and yeah, let's start with Black Widow. Where do you guys put this in?
Answers.
And series. That's
Um,
right. We are doing series as well.
Black Widow deserves to be in Eternals.
Yes.
I don't think Eternals per se. I think it should be the one above Eternals.
See, but like I agree because Black Widow actually has some redeeming qualities in like the characters and the story. Like the yeah.
It has actual fun. Like for example, Red Soldier. I
Red
forgot
Guardian.
his name.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. There you go. He was pretty funny. So at least they had that going. Eternals wasn't even funny.
True.
I
It's
rank Black
majorly
Widow.
dramatic.
Eternals, bro, made me feel miserable. Black Widow made me feel at least like I had a little bit of fun. You know, like Red Guardian was
I
fucking
see what you mean.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah. Eternals made me cry for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like like at least give Black Widow some
I
credit.
can picture Ralph
I
just
guess.
crying in the theater, just like this movie's so dog shit. Oh my god. But
I
anyway.
actually ranked Black Widow below Eternals. I like Eternals more.
Yeah.
That is odd.
Personally, I did too because like the expectations for Eternals was like a little bit lower than Black Widow.
Yeah, but
like-
let's not speak about expectations. Let's speak about the actual content that we saw.
Like man,
All
watching
right,
it.
actually let's change it. Let's make this like what happened. I think Eternals should be in like what the hell happened. But I agree that Black Widow and Eternals are like some things where you can just say like equally as bad in my opinion. Like one provided a non-existent story, the other one provided a story but was so convoluted and confusing that I had no idea what was going on. I don't know.
Basically about abortion.
Yes.
The only good thing that came out of Eternals is the visuals. The visuals were amazing. They did such a good job. But that's the only thing they really had as like a selling point. And that it's like one of the,
Yeah,
I guess,
but it's the same thing with Guardians. Like Guardians actually did amazing, and it had basically the same visuals. So it's like we've
Yeah.
already seen it before.
I think this is good for now. Yeah. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I
think it was a
personally,
decent like. Oh, you go.
I'll put where I want to put it, and then we will debate it. I'm gonna put it right here.
I disagree.
Put
I
it in
disagree.
B.
I
Put it in
put
B.
B.
I put it in A.
Yeah, I put B.
Hey,
No, I wouldn't
Because
say A, but
I loved it. I loved it way more than Hawkeye. Hawkeye was like,
wait, okay, we'll talk about Hawkeye.
no, that's why we're gonna put it in B because Hawkeye's gonna be a C.
okay, I agree.
Yeah, because what's it called? Because like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, I fucking love the whole actually tackling racism and tackling like justice. But the problem is, other than that, it didn't have much content to it. It was just like there. It was fun and entertaining, but it didn't bring anything to the universe.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. It was more about fulfilling one single purpose.
It's
instead
also
of,
it's also like the main conflict of like people being misplaced after the blip. It did not get resolved in the series. It is still a problem.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
the series did nothing but like you said tackle a lot of injustice problems. made Falcon actually into Captain America, and sort of like helped Bucky and him connect into like more of a friendship. I don't know.
Yeah, which hopefully we see more of them later on. But again, that could have been done in a movie. They've done it before, so
Okay. I'll agree. I'll agree that it's a B. I don't. I would. I disagree with you, Ralph. This can never be A.
Again, he's like, okay, I am ashamed of my decisions.
All right. All right.
No, I'm just okay.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's a C.
It's definitely C.
Yeah. What? Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna for the audience sake. I did not watch past episode 4. I had no idea. I had no interest in the show after episode 4. Nothing really piqued my interest whatsoever. I don't know. I feel like they could have done so much more for Hawkeye. This was less
They did
about
so much
Jeremy
hype
Renner.
in the finale.
The show should have been called Kate Bishop,
Yeah.
and the show would have been much higher in this list.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess it's sort of like Kate Bishop taking on the mantle of Hawkeye.
I mean,
But
Kate
it's
Bishop is Hawkeye, so I mean, I guess the name could be either way. Because again, in the comics, she in the original Young Avengers, she sort of takes on that name by accident, anyways. So it's like technically it could be named after her because she's Hawkeye, but it's interchangeable.
But in the show, it didn't allude to it, so it was
They
literally
hinted at
supposed to be. It hinted at it, but not really.
I feel like they were just taking on a lot.
I mean, that's a tie into the comics because she didn't want to take that name at first, and then at some point it's just people call her Hawkeye, and she's like, you know what, fuck it, I guess I am, and she just takes it. So I guess it's a tie into that, but it's just the content itself wasn't worthy. Like Gabe said, it was such a alright or bad show, decent to bad show.
I don't think
that you
I want to
couldn't get
preface it. I don't think it's bad. I just think they had way too much on their plate to deal with because they were dealing with not only they were dealing with like original Hawkeye's like survivor's guilt and trauma from not only New York but the death of Natasha Romanoff, but they also had to deal with introducing Kate Bishop and also making their relationship interesting and then also continuing the main story, which I didn't even know what it was at that point.
They put too much. They promised too many things, and then like said, "Hey, 6 episodes. Let's bunch it into the finale." Like it was way too much. Like they promised way too much, so they were all they like the content itself felt really restricted to fulfilling Yelena's story with Hawkeye and all that other stuff, and like they teased early on, like it was heavily teased that Kingpin would be in it as well. So having to fulfill all that, make it its own story, was just like super cluttered, and it just didn't feel right.
I think this story also helps set up Echo in the future when that comes out. I don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah,
That's another
I mean,
thing
like,
that they had to. That's another thing that they tried to do. But
yeah, they try to set up too much, and at the end of the day, they set up nothing.
Yeah,
plus,
basically.
they put everything in the finale too. So like they try to make all the greatest content, like I put that in quotations, like the greatest content of the show in the finale, and it still was like mid. Like it wasn't that great. And the story for Yelena and Clint Barton, like them bonding over Natasha, that was done really sloppily. Like it felt like they were acting out of. They had almost no chemistry. Like they literally did not connect in that aspect because like Yelena was like Yelena's character was like extremely sad while Hawkeye's was kind of just like, yeah, it sucks. And then like he moved on, and I'm just like, it just felt so uncomfortable to watch. I was like, man, this show, God.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a shame because we never really got anything that was standalone Hawkeye to be amazing. And it's just a shame that he had one opportunity and they really blew it for him. Unfortunate.
Bro, at least make it like heavily dramatic. Like at least have him die or some shit.
Yeah.
Or like not have him die, but like have him to where something so drastic happens that he's like, all right, you know what? I think I gotta take care of my family.
Bro, and his hearing aid, like, and his him needing a hearing aid, that's such a great plot point that they could say in the Hawkeye series. But they kind of just put it in there, like, oh, history, sucks. What the hell? Like, it was more like said, not showed, and that kind of just sucks. Like
Yeah.
all the things that you were excited for, they kind of just said, and then like they really just said all the things that they teased about, say, like hoping that that would keep you on for what they think is exciting, and then it just didn't deliver anything else.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can't
You know
say
what's
I
funny?
can't say much. I haven't watched the rest of the show.
No, and I think that's perfect because it's showing you that unlike the other shows, there was nothing to keep you on your toes or to keep you watching.
Yeah.
Which we haven't rated it on what's it called on Eternals scale, only because it had a few things that are important to the main plot. Like for example, we already saw that Daredevil is in No Way Home, so seeing Kingpin is like, oh, okay, so we officially will have Daredevil back into this universe, and there will be like more connections. We also have Echo being set up. We also have Yelena being part of more movies. So it did set up some stuff. It was just like too much on their plate.
Yeah. It's just it's a mess. Yeah. Speaking of what wasn't a mess, Loki.
I fucking loved it. That's S2A.
I think it's S tier, but then again, we have these movies that we need to talk about, so I don't want to put it in S tier. I say it's an A tier. This story brought in not only the introduction of the multiverse to the MCU, this also was also a good journey for Loki himself. And the only thing I fucking found gross was that he wanted to love himself, which is ironic. It's poetic.
Self love.
Yeah, but it's also weird, you know. I don't know. I think this show had a lot to do with I guess the introduction to, like I said, the multiverse. Kang got introduced in the show as the one above all, right?
Yep.
And
Well, he
No,
at
it's
the end
He
he
Who
did got
Remains.
introduced
Something
as
like that.
Kang.
yeah,
Yeah, but what's it called? Like that's the only thing I found gross about that show, as you said, would be that whole one above all or whatever he's called. Because personally, I'm a bigger fan of the original Kang, but after we got to see his statue at the end, I'm like excited for it.
yeah. This also I loved what was the guy's name? The guy playing Lightning McQueen. What was his name? Morbius.
Owen Wilson. That's not Morbius.
Mobius.
Mobius, yeah. This,
I was
no,
like, what the fuck?
all right, time out. I do have to make a sort of a distinction because look, we have Morpheus in the Matrix universe, we have Morbius in the Sony universe, and we have Mobius in the MCU, and it's like hard, like fucking change the names, goddamn.
One letter, please. More than one.
Factual, like at least change the MO part. Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. No, but I think there's not a lot to say about the show other than it's just good. It's way better than I think Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye. I think personally,
The suspense period is so good.
if it wasn't for WandaVision, this would have been the best Disney Plus show that had come out. But yeah.
I mean, I think they both serve an extreme importance. So that's why I personally would have put it at S tier because it meant so much to the MCU, and the actual story was good, connected with not many viewable plot holes, and I think it was a masterpiece of a show.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lewis?
There's nothing much I can say after what you guys said. It's just being repeating yourself.
That's
So
fair.
you didn't there wasn't a part that you didn't like?
No, you guys basically said everything.
So we could all agree that there's basically nothing that was bad about this movie then.
Oh, the show.
For
To
sure.
be honest with you, like I felt, to be honest with you, like watching the show, I just didn't feel like, watching it, I just didn't feel as, it was as great as WandaVision. I personally would rate it A tier, like where it belongs. I felt like the suspense of the entire show, of the show, its entirety, was phenomenal. Like they played all of it to perfection, and the music along with it, like keeping you on your toes. That whole idea, that's what made it so great. But I'd say like when you're watching it individually, it feels super weird. Like it's like meant to be a show, but not at the same time. Like it's meant to connect, but the individual stuff was really, really weird to me.
I think comparing it to WandaVision, because I think didn't this show come out after one? No, it was Falcon, right? Am I wrong?
It was
No,
WandaVision, Falcon,
this
Winter
was the
Soldier.
last
Okay.
show, yeah. No,
And
actually,
then
Hawkeye
and then
was
What
the
If?
last show.
Yeah.
I forgot about Hawkeye.
So, WandaVision, well, and we'll talk about it more when we put it on the list. But WandaVision had this great thing of just keeping you in suspense and always questioning a lot of the stuff happening in the show, where Loki kind of did that, but not to such a grand extent. Into where it's more just like it more follows the personal journey of Loki rather than just what's going on in the multiverse itself. You know, there's some questions being asked, like with Renslayer and Mobius, but besides, like, what was it? What were the robots called? I forgot. Fuck. The robots,
What robot?
you know, the ones that people thought they were in control, but they really weren't. What are they? What are they called?
Oh, the
Oh.
timekeepers.
Timekeepers. Yeah.
I
I thought that was
yeah,
a
like-
great twist. I thought though I don't know about you guys. That was a great twist with the timekeepers.
I thought it was too, but like when you're watching that when I was watching that episode, I was like, man, you got to meet him already. Like I forgot what episode it was. I think it was like 3 or 4. I was like, man, this show sucks.
No, it's
revealing it
no,
already?
No. It
And
was
then,
like the
like, hey,
second
fuck
to
it.
last episode.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was
Yeah,
like
it wasn't-
episode 4 or something.
No, it wasn't at the beginning, Raph.
No, it was at the second to last episode, and then the next
was
episode,
like
the last
mid- it was
episode,
like mid to end.
they meet Kang. I thought it was appropriate. I don't know. I think but I do
thought the
agree
time
with
was
you.
a little bit too early.
I do agree with you. I think I think I know what you're talking about because we still had one episode left after the one that they were revealed in. So we were kind of confused because we thought that the timekeepers were going to be this final boss. And they ended up it was kind of weird for them to just appear and then, you know, later on the show.
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm saying about like the individual episodes itself was like very, very weirdly done. It was like if you're following like what's great about it is that like that's a bit of a cliche. Like you revealing the episode like the villain of the show, like the antagonist, like the episode like them facing off in the episode before it ends to leave it off in bleed it off in the last episode. Like that's a very cliche thing to do, and I think like what's great about what they did was that they kind of said like they kind of said fuck you, no, that's not actually what we're doing here, we actually have something better for you. Like that's great, but it's like very unnerving for me to watch. It's kind of like, oh shit, did you really just do that? But like they did it.
Gravitate towards.
Yeah, it was great, but it was just like uncomfortable for me.
Yeah,
I-
but that's, again, just because a thing makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong. Or doesn't mean it's worse than anything else or like not as good quality. Because like sometimes that's the purpose of certain things to make you, because the whole thing about Loki is to keep you, it's giving you emotions that you shouldn't have. First of all, Loki's a villain. And Sylvie is also a villain. So they're making you fall in love with two characters you're not even supposed to fall in love. So it already starts by making you do and feel things that are questionable. How are you supposed to root for two people who are technically the same, both evil, different versions of themselves, who are trying to like do this thing outside of the law, which the law is the he who remains above all. And it's like it's bringing something to you that subconsciously you feel weird about, but it's good because it's changing what you're used to. And that's personally why I feel like it's a S tier, because it fucks up with your brain so much, like WandaVision, but it's on the other perspective. Instead of making you feel happy and comfortable with what they're giving you, they're fucking you up with your emotions. And just because you get fucked up doesn't mean it's bad. It's good, to me at least.
I don't know. I think the way we watched it, this was not a series that benefited from the week to week basis thing. And I think I can agree with
Yeah,
Ralph. Watching
it
these
was more like a binge watching. It was more like it was great to binge watch and just wait. It felt more like a Netflix. Like it felt more like a yeah. I'd say like probably like a Netflix series where you're kind of like, oh shit, that just happened. What's happening next? Like the gap between each week just kind of felt like that felt more uncomfortable to me. Like waiting for each episode than what like because after it premiered, after everything was finished, I watched it back and it was like a lot better to watch it that way for me at least.
Yeah, I definitely think this benefits more of like if all the episodes were just displayed out. But I do want to say that I do like all of these series come out week by week. A lot of them benefit from it rather than not. It's just how it happens that Loki just does not benefit from this. It should be I think rather than watching it week by week, you should be watching this like in one sitting or in a max like 2 sittings. Just
Yeah.
so like the experience goes a little bit smoother, you know? All right. Are we good with Loki? We all spoken our piece about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Let's move on to What If. This show for me really depended on who they put the spotlight on and if they really were your favorite characters. To me, this show is like it's better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me, but it's not it's not A.
I put it in C.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Lewis.
Why do you think it should be in C, Lewis?
Uh, it's good in the aspects that they're giving individual stories of the multiverse to give a better understanding of what the capabilities are due. And, like we get to see in multiple things that we wanted to see, like the Marvel zombies, with Peggy becomes Captain America or Captain Britain or whatever. It just gets ruined by plain stories at the end, because Thor, who loves to party, it doesn't really impact you. And like that cute crossover episode was okay. It just didn't give you that impact as it should as a finale. And I think it was good giving them like what was that name called? Anthropology of like multiple had the same title but multiple different stories.
Anthology.
Anthology. It's good as an anthology and it should stay as an anthology, I would believe.
Yeah, I agree that they really shouldn't have merged these things into one. I would have personally liked if they just gave us one big 2-part story as the finale. But I agree with you. I feel like some of these, like I said, these depend on if the episodes that came out each week hit or miss for you. Because, oh my god, this just popped into my mind. I only just remember now that Hank Pym killed all the Avengers.
Yeah.
Which I thought was bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nah, I
That-
don't think it's bullshit.
honestly-
I think with the right motives, Hank Pym's technology could have fucking slaughtered anyone if they weren't expecting it.
I think no. Don't get me wrong. I think so too. But again, it's how they executed that I felt was wrong.
Like I kind of digged like I like that they did like a murder mystery. That was cool. If they make like an actual MCU murder mystery, I would be down for that. I love murder mystery movies. But yeah, I think probably the best episode out of the bunch was Strange Supreme. I don't think that's a debate. It's either that or Marvel Zombies. Yeah, I think Strange Supreme was probably the best. And, we're saying a version of him in Multiverse of Madness, which is pretty sick.
That's why I say it should be an anthropology type of
Anthology.
anthology type of show, because that story was pretty good, and you leaving it by itself made a pretty good story for that character, and it kind of just messes it up at the end, because why would bring him out if you know he's going to do bad? Sure, in the episode it was basic plot convenience, but
Yeah.
but it's better to keep a story end than make it continue.
I agree. I felt like they should have just ended his story right in the episode he was introduced. They should have just kept it like that. I don't know. This show had a lot of. I think the coolest thing that came out of it was Ultron. What is it? Infinite Ultron, or like Ultron Infinity. That was badass. But again, I feel like this should have been like the Twilight Zone, where like it's like Lewis said, keep it separate, keep it clean, and this would have been fine. Let's actually wrap up the Disney Plus shows, and let's talk about WandaVision. Now, I think WandaVision, because of the way I watched it, this show is an S tier.
I agree.
Me too.
I agree too.
This show
Unanimous.
did so many things right with keeping suspense, keeping attention, letting people theorize, and keeping the show in people's thoughts until it eventually ended was amazing.
It deserves all of the praise it gets as well. Like for being so different from everything else, but in a really, really good and exciting way. Like I've heard so many good things from people who've never watched anything Marvel, but absolutely love this show. And it just like, despite the fact that it's a Marvel show, like it's still fantastic.
Yeah. This, man, I think I remember watching it with like, cause we watch it together all the time. Like either it's like midnight or 3 a.m. or like the next day. When we watch this together and we get hyped when Quicksilver from the X-Men series came in, that was hype, even though it was just, you know, a dick joke. But moments like that where you see like these stories and other properties come together through one series, it's just amazing. And WandaVision was the start of that.
That boner joke was like the worst thing that came out of the show, but like you gotta give it to Marvel for that one.
No, I was so mad. I will never give them that. That was awful.
That was
For me,
that was
WandaVision, it was just overall like again, I love the psychological aspect of it and the whole grief, like that being the major factor to her doings. The whole thing that we actually got to see two of the young Avengers, Wicked and Speed. That was fantastic to me. It just honestly, I was surprised they didn't do anything like Mephisto involved because both Wiccan and Speed are lost souls from Mephisto. So it was just weird that he wasn't involved. But I just love like the ads having some sort of connection to any other Marvel category. We saw Sword for the first time. There was so much, and it was so psychological that it felt like its own show, just connected to Marvel.
Yeah. There's a lot to love
it was
about
like
this show.
what it did everything that Hawkeye did wrong.
All right, hold up. I really don't think you can compare this to Hawkeye, because
You can't.
You can compare the template to Hawkeye because they all have the same template.
yeah,
They have the template where it's slow in the beginning, not really intense, and at the end, I mean, at each episode, at the end, they give you a little cliffhanger to keep you a little bit interested. And when the finale comes, you put everything at the end.
yeah. I think WandaVision does that formula probably the best, and it was structured for that formula.
Because it's also the first thing you see.
Yeah, and it also makes sense why they started off with WandaVision as like the first project for Phase 4. Like
It was the start of a good year.
Yeah.
Well, it was a terrible year, but it was a great start.
Yeah. When did this come out? You guys remember when this came
March.
out? March?
March.
Wow.
March.
It's been that long, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember staying up at like we all went to sleep to watch the finale, but like we only half of us like with our whole group and half of us like had just woke up at 3 a.m. just like, yo guys, we gotta get up, we gotta watch the finale. And we just got like only half of us made it. It was hilarious. But it was such
Yeah.
a good finale.
It was, man. It set up like probably what's gonna be the most hype movie coming out
Wait,
this
no,
year.
it ended It ended in March, but the first episode premiered on January 15th.
Damn, it would stretched all that long. Jesus Christ.
It's it is 9 episodes.
True. I mean, this show also is setting up probably one of the biggest crossovers in Marvel history, which is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Just sending Wanda up to be this person who, like in WandaVision, she doesn't get anything she wants. She lost her home, she lost her husband, her kids. Everything to her was lost. So it sets her up perfectly to be this sort of like antagonizing force in Doctor Strange, and it's chef's kiss beautiful. I cannot wait for this.
I'm really excited too. Personally, when she says like, "Oh, when I do it, I'm the villain." All right, first of all, lady, you enslaved the whole fucking town.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference, okay? Like he was trying to help Spider-Man, and it was supposed to make people forget the crime, which was not even his crime. You actually just fucking enslaved them because you wanted to cry. That was it.
Hey man, she's emotionally damaged. She needs to find out her way to vent, and her way of venting is to enslave a whole small town in New Jersey and just making them do her bidding. It's simple.
As a fellow simp, it's okay.
It's girl bossing at the max. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's such a bad joke.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know if you guys know who Chief Keef is. He's a rapper. I think she took his lyric way too lyrically because he said, "I'm about to blow New Jersey up," and she enslaved New Jersey up for sure. Like she was getting there.
Sure. Sweet. I think that's a wrap for WandaVision. Overall, really, really good start to Phase 4, and just an amazing show overall. Shang-Chi. Boy, oh boy, was I excited for this movie, because I had no idea who this character was. I agree with you all.
First of all,
I think
first of all, I think Raph and I are both biased. We both were extremely excited for the movie to come out in the first place.
Yeah,
So
lived up to the hype.
Yeah, and it
Well,
did.
the hype was
But
low.
again, you and I were the only ones that were like vouching for this character before he even came out. I think it was you that showed me that Simu Liu wanted to play the character, and I just got excited, and then
Bro, I cannot tell you, when I first watched that bus scene, which is probably it is the best like action sequences in all of Marvel. It was so good. This show connects to not only just as a good standalone movie, this is also connecting at the end to the grander MCU and what the Ten Rings where the origins of the Ten Rings may have come from.
Yeah, what's great about this film is that it didn't actually it didn't try to connect to the MCU. Like, it didn't try to be another MCU, another Marvel movie. It really did try to be its own standalone film, and that's what made it so good. Like, the whole focus on Shang-Chi, his family, like his heritage, like the side characters of Aquafina. Like, I I absolutely love this entire film. Like, to me, it was absolutely perfect, and it belongs in S tier. I'm not settling for anything less.
Yeah, this movie has a good message of just being true to who you are inside, and I love it because like there's like a correlation with traditional with Aquafina. It's like the traditional Chinese values and like her character's family versus what she grew up on, and having those clashes of like what you're raised with versus your traditions, and then having somewhere in the middle there's you. And as a son of immigrants, as someone who was raised from like is a first generation, I can understand it. Maybe not to the extent of like other immigrants who experience this directly, but I understand that like feeling of just like how much of you do you embrace from your heritage and how much of you do you embrace from what's around you, which it's very powerful. I love it.
A lot of people, hold on. A lot of people are gonna not like me for this, but the whole his regular name, well, his American name being Sean because his name is Sean. I thought that was perfect because it shows what a 14-year-old would think in a matter that's so important and detrimental to your life. Like you're not old enough to understand how important it is to like have a whole different name. I'm pretty sure all of us at 14 were using all the same passwords for all of our emails because we didn't want to remember a new one.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure all of our passwords and emails are the dumbest shit we could think of.
Yep. Big booty bitches over 12.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just being able to see what a 14-year-old teen would think and see how it actually impacted him in the future and seeing like the whole journey of a killing machine who doesn't want to kill but wants to do good was just amazing to me. And they really did justice to Shang-Chi in the comics. And honestly, like Simile, you fucking did phenomenal, my guy. You killed it. As someone who only been in shows and other projects, to be in such a like ambitious cinematic masterpiece and murder like that, props to you, my guy. You had all the pressure and you fucking ate it.
Yeah.
Also, Aquafina, you're funny as fuck, girl. Keep it up. That shit was fantastic, man. Woman, you made the fucking movie a fucking thrill. You made me laugh my ass off at shit I shouldn't even be laughing.
I want to do a whole episode on Shang-Chi, bro.
Do it, man.
I would join you for that.
Grimm, you down? Let's do it.
All right,
We
guys.
gotta do it.
We got one more movie left. And I think it is without question how we feel about this movie. Spider-Man No Way Home was probably the craziest, most insane hype train in the last 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah. I
All
think
right. This is gonna sound crazy, but hear me out. Hear me out, right?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
You're gonna
So,
rank it
no,
A
no.
tier.
No. Listen. I'm not even gonna give it a different tier yet. I'm just gonna explain something for filmmakers to actually listen to. Technically speaking, if we take out all the hype, the story itself was not the best. It had its holes, it had its questionable moments, it had a weird ending, but but because they did a fan service, because they actually listened to what fans want, because they focused more on making sure that the community felt listened to, it ended up being the best movie. So it goes to show that your story doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to listen to your audience. You have to listen to what they want, and you will get places. Because to me, on a critical perspective, it is not an S tier. But to me, as a fan, as someone who loves Spider-Man, as someone who loves Marvel, it's fucking phenomenal because they did everything I wanted. And as a Daredevil fan, I got to see my character connected to the MCU. So it was just like it shows that a lot of filmmakers gotta listen to their fans, and they will reach heights like no one else.
DC, take a hint.
True.
Factual.
Hey guys, this is Wrath, aka Yes. This part of the video is kind of where we all go on a bit of a Spider-Man No Way Home rant. Basically, we were debating the placement of the film on our tier list because all of the hype surrounding the film. Me and Grimm were trying to analyze the film and think about it more objectively, while the other two, Nova and Curly, were seeing the film as more of an event instead of an individual film. We'll be posting our full discussion separately because we felt it was too long for the video. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video.
So I have a question. Would you put it in the same tier though? Would you put it in the same tier but lower, or at the top of the bottom tier?
Without the fan service?
Yeah. Would you
I
put it?
put it at
So would
top
you put
A.
it?
Like I meant the first A, but not S.
Yeah.
So you would
To be
put
honest,
it
I'd put it
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if we're talking about this movie, like, okay, so but if we're talking about these objectively, then WandaVision after the second part gets really dull. I wouldn't put in S. I'm taking these movies as how I first experienced them. Because I don't think any of us really, I think besides Ralph, who said he like rewatched Loki, I don't think any of us, especially me, I didn't go back to these shows after the first time I watched them.
I rewatched all of them.
Yeah.
Except for Hawkeye. I don't want to rewatch that, to be honest.
Damn, man, Hawkeye is just getting slandered.
I mean, like, it was so, like, I heard so many people, like, so excited for it. I was really excited for it, but, like, it's just not.
Yeah.
Literally, like, after the first episode, I was, like, first couple of minutes, I was, like, super excited. Like, the 12 minutes, like, I remember the first 12 minutes when they introduced Kate Bishop. The whole intro sequence there, it was great. Kind of went downhill from there.
I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed at how not connected to the Young Avengers it was.
To the what?
For the Young Avengers.
How like
I could
how
see
it had nothing to do with the Young Avengers. Like, because you would think they're already introducing some. You
Why would
think
this
that
have
they
to
would
do with
try-
anything Young Avengers?
Because in the comics, like Hawkeye,
I don't know, they
because
had
of
a
the Young
Spider-Man
Avengers,
crossover. Why not?
but because in the comics, her whole identity came from helping the Young Avengers and wanting to be them. That you would think that at least she would like meet one of them at least for like a little episode or something like that. Especially Patriot, since he's out there. Well, in the comics, he's out there helping just random crimes. He would probably get with the tracksuit mafia at some point, but they just never even like try to put any of them into a like a little scene or anything. It's just like,
I mean,
oh.
yeah, but like, I feel like if you made this show, I think if we go back to what Lewis said, if you made this show called Kate Bishop instead of Hawkeye, yeah, I think that's like a reasonable request. But this is about Hawkeye. This is supposed to end like Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye's journey and start, Kate Bishop's one.
I feel like we'd enjoy Hawkeye more if we didn't watch any of the Marvel movies except for Avengers and Avengers Endgame.
And that's bad because that's literally like what, 10%
But that's the
of
basis. That's how you get hyped for the show. That's where you learn the name Hawkeye.
I know, but it's like it's also like it just sucks. It's the situation that they put Hawkeye in where they're just like, yeah, we didn't really give him like a whole movie or like any like major like role in the story, so we're gonna give him his own spin-off show to wrap him up.
I just want to shout out to Kevin Feige though. This is his first production. Kind of sucked. I'm so sorry.
Listen, big man,
No,
you just
I
worry
mean-
about organizing shit, man. We love you.
No. Like honestly, hey, it's a learning experience. Again, we bash not because we hate it or we dislike it, but because we have standards, right? And those standards weren't
No,
made.
you don't meet our
randomly.
standards.
Obviously-
Fuck you. You know what? I'm
No,
putting
no,
it
no.
here.
No, he made our standards. So when he falls below his own standard, it's like weird to see. And the thing is, when I watch movies,
why do you talk like that?
I told this to Ref. When I watch movies, I always have shows. I always have questions in mind. And when those movies or shows don't even answer them or don't even come close to like answering them, which are simple questions, but obviously you need them to be responded. It's like, is this really like doing like is this really there to do anything other than just to entertain your eyes, or like what's the purpose of this?
Fair enough.
So it's a learning experience. Again, I hope him the best in the next work that he actually does, and
Kevin,
like
better luck next time, buddy. We look forward to the next one.
yeah, like I'm not saying he's gonna be trash forever, or like I'm not saying that he's trash.
Are
I'm
we
just
looking
saying-
forward to it?
I am.
Depends on what
'cause
it
again-
is.
No, look at
If it's She-Hulk,
freaking-
sure, yeah, why not?
no
If it's Miss Marvel the way it's going, probably not. No, thank you.
no look at James Gunn.
Dude, Miss Marvel looks so bad.
I'm so upset. I am so upset. No, God.
Oh my
No,
god.
Why?
look at James, no, but real quick, look at James Gunn. He directed Scooby Doo.
Right?
That's true. That's true.
And look at all his other movies. So I am hyped for what Kevin Feige has because again, it's one mistake. That doesn't mean you're gonna be making mistakes forever.
Sure.
Definitely not for James Gunn.
But
So
also,
I'm just saying, like,
keep in mind, also Kevin Feige was there when like the original Daredevil happened.
yeah, but that doesn't mean he knows how to do the work himself. He was just administering and learning. There's theoretically is different from practical, and that's what he was used to. He was used to theoretical, like, oh, you should do this and that, and it should be easy. But once you put it into practice, it's a whole different story. There's people that could pass the theoretical test for driving. That doesn't mean they know how to drive.
What is? Can you send me the link to the theoretical test of driving?
No, it's just
Like, have you ever seen people take like the what's it called, the video game, or I guess like try to do a video game simulator of driving? It's kind of like that, and then you see them on the road. You're
Yeah,
like, man, I'm
exactly.
gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's just
I'm just
hilarious.
saying,
All
it's
right.
just like, again, I hope he does better. I really do because
Okay.
I like him in Marvel. So I'm just hoping that this is not a forever thing. Because if
All
it
the
is,
love, better luck next time, buddy. We love you.
yeah,
All right.
Take
So
it fine.
I want to review the list. Eternals and Black Widow are dog shit. Hawkeye could have been better. Falcon, Winter Soldier, What If? Just the standard of what's a good show. Loki's really good. WandaVision's spectacular. Shang-Chi is amazing. And Spider-Man is just a cultural event. But
You used all of the Spider-Man adjectives to describe all of the other S tier movies except Spider-Man.
I'm sorry that Spider-Man has literally been described in every other adjective. Anyways,
What?
guys, that's where we're gonna wrap up the podcast. I hope you guys. No. All right, guys. Have a great time. I'm probably gonna cut this like Spider-Man / Hawkeye rant into a separate video. This was fun though. I like that sort of spun into its own thing. So look out for that other video in the future. Yeah. But without further ado,
Spider-Man. We'll just put a Spider-Man rant part 2.
yeah.
What you should do, you should put like a little preview of it and be like, if you want to watch more of that, just watch the next video coming up or some shit like that.
Or just title it "Watch Nerds Get Heated" over Spider-Man.
No, you ever see that meme of like the 4 kids on the couch, and it's just like they're like
oh yeah.
yeah,
And there's like memes about them, like what's better, pussy or like some shit like that. Yeah.
and it's just us like, what's better, Spider-Man or no Spider-Man? All right, guys, this is where we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Wait,
Bro,
hold on.
what do you
were
gotta
saying?
say, man? I'm wrapping this shit up. What do you have to say?
Because I said the pussy shit, and I thought you were done with the video. Now I realized.
All right. We're done. We're done.